We've shown in the previous graphs how we can get demand curves out of demand functions, which are in turn derived from the utility maximization problem of a consumer choosing between two goods. We can of course also get labor supply curves out of the utility maximization problem that workers engage in, and we'll show some relationships here that emerge for different types of tastes over consumption and leisure. We begin in panel A with a utility function that's quasi-linear in leisure, the utility function C plus alpha natural log of leisure, and we'll solve the maximization problem that maximizes utility using consumption and leisure subject to the worker's budget constraint. This gives us the leisure demand and consumption demand functions that are reported in equation 9.20 of the text. Leisure is equal to alpha divided by W, and consumption is equal to W times the leisure endowment minus alpha. And from that we can get the labor supply function by simply subtracting the leisure demand from the leisure endowment. This gives us the labor supply function in equation 9.21 of the text, where labor supply is equal to the leisure endowment minus alpha divided by the wage. If we set the leisure endowment equal to 60 hours, then we know that labor can never be supplied above 60 hours. So we can put a dashed vertical line there to indicate that the labor supply curve will lie to the left of that line. With the labor supply function given by the leisure endowment minus alpha divided by W in equation 9.21 of the text, we can trace out the relationship between the wage and the number of hours worked as soon as we set the leisure endowment and alpha. We've already set the leisure endowment to 60, and we now set alpha equal to 400 as we trace out the magenta labor supply curve. This curve is once again really the inverse of the labor supply function that we've derived, because we have labor on the horizontal axis and wage on the vertical. If we decrease this worker's leisure endowment to 40 from 60 and left everything else the same, we'd get the blue labor supply curve, traced out here. The labor supply curve will always be upward sloping in this case because leisure is a quasi-linear good. This means there's only a substitution effect and no wealth effect, and the substitution effect says that if the wage goes up, we should consume less of what's become more expensive and more of what's become cheaper. Leisure becomes more expensive as the wage goes up, so we should consume less of it according to the substitution effect. And if there's only a substitution effect, that means that an increase in wage will cause us to consume less leisure and therefore work more.